What's happening, guys? My name is Malcontent Mats, and welcome to Dysfunctional Systems, Episode 1, Learning to Manage Chaos. I'm actually not 100% certain what this game is about. I found it online, and I was like, oh, okay, let me get this. And it's got a pretty awesome soundtrack. Yeah, I think this is like a text-based game, so I don't know. Let's just hop right in. Working families across Brighton are no doubt issuing a collective sigh of relief today as the legislation for minimum wage increase of 50 cents passed in Parliament earlier this morning. The bill comes after a public outcry that the majority of Brighton citizens are without enough income, too poor to make ends meet after the recent increase in food prices. The charge brings minimum wage for workers working over 40 hours a week to $3.67 an hour, and workers working less to $3.20. Although welcomed by most, there has been stiff opposition towards the bill from foreign investors, primarily those from Gabriel. Major Gabriel companies such as Ujiko and Norkli have warned that wage increase will hurt Brighton's economy, arguing that the new rate would force more layoffs as they cannot afford as many employees. President Barnaby, who has been supportive of the legislation since its inception, retorted that welfed employees were more productive, and reminded Ujiko and Norkli, whatever, snorkel, representatives that employing a Brighton citizen was still over 16 times less expensive than employing a citizen of their home country. Stocks did, however, take a moderate tumble after the approval of the legislation. President Barnaby assured citizens that the drop should only be temporary and that the markets will bring a rise again after the initial shock has subsided. With the minimum wage increase, Barnaby has finally fulfilled the last of the campaign promises made during the 1523 campaign trip. 1523. Whether or not he manages to accomplish his 1523 goals remains to be seen. With that, we conclude our hourly business report. Next up, the latest in entertainment news. Without a doubt, I still find it strange. Everything strange. Bizarre. Really, if these worlds were nothing like my own, at least I could appropriately flip out. But no, they're familiar. No, they're similar. Too similar. I keep slipping into the feeling of normalcy, only to have that sensation of strangeness slap me across the face at the first sight of something weird. There are plenty of weird sights around to do so, too. Like, for instance, these advanced-looking television in this decrepit-looking building, which I can only assume is an electronics store. They are the first things I've seen since arriving in this world that actually look somewhat new, fancy even. Up until now, everything has been old, ramshackled, and in various states of disrepair. It makes me nervous, very nervous. It's just so profoundly disturbing. Will I ever get used to this? I think that I will, some year or decade from now, if my mentor is any indication. Look at him, standing there so aloof, as if this were just another day to him. Which, yeah, I suppose it is. Well, what do I know? Nothing. Winter. Oh, winter. Yeah? What do you think? Think about what? About what we just saw and heard. Oh. To be honest, I really wasn't thinking anything about it. Winter, we only just started. Please try focus. Yeah, I will, sorry. It's just, well, I'm still finding it a little hard to wrap my head around the idea of destructive conflict. Well, of course, I was the same. Well, of course, I was the same when I first started out. There aren't that many examples of conflict in our world. Right. You might even be surprised that war is actually a word in our dictionary. Totally. Yet still, Winter, you'll come to understand conflict very well, don't worry. After all, you'll be doing nothing but dealing with it. Lame. Well, anyway. What a response is that? I mean, fine, she looks like she's 12, but still. You read the material on this world, right? It should have been your homework. It was. Then, tell me, what do you think? Perhaps it's time to admit that I didn't spend much of last night reading the material, so much as turning the pages and glancing at them. I was tired, and honestly, after watching the bubbles in my soda significantly more captivating than the words on the files, the way they merged with each other and crawled up the glass is incredibly pretty. You're certainly partnering rather hard there, Winter. You must be whipping up a dazzling answer. Brighton is poor? That's a fact, Winter, not a thought. So sorry, I think it is... I think... Nothing! What have I learned so far in class doesn't seem to be particularly applicable to this world, so I'm finding it a little difficult to care. How can I care anyway? Besides, all that, this is all disconnected from me. Also disconnected from me. Plus, it's only my second world. For heaven's sake, I'm still flummoxed by the fact that other worlds exist. What am I supposed to think when they just toss me into these places, give me a pat on the back and say, "Be on your way, merry child"? Actually, here's a thought. What kind of a name is Brighton? It's a stupid name for a country. It sounds more like a town. The town of Brighton. Population 40. Just blah. I'll scream blah at Cyrus. Cyrus? I don't know. Another mentor who questioned me like this. I mean, I won't. But I would. Completely. Totally. And so would. For now, though, an awkward and wobbling smile is all that I can muster. Is that a smile? Blah. Well, whatever. What do you think the next step is? Alright, cool. Winter now. Just remain calm and genuinely consider the question. The next thing to do, we need to learn things that weren't given. Right. So, I could ask my last mentor, why are the dossiers we get before we come to these places so thin? Well, it's because they're simply comprised of first-hand information, noteworthy things that mediators have gathered through observations and gleaned from prior trips to the world. You're lucky you even had that much. Sometimes you get sent to worlds where they haven't been visited before. Are these guys like aliens or what the fuck? Let me tell you, it's never fun when a surprise dragonfly flies out of... What? When a surprise dragon flies out from behind the mountain, or even when you realize that the person you've been talking to is really just a convincing projection, or worse, a robot. I talk to robots all the time. And once you start going into the systems that threaten your definition of what being a world even means, good luck. Then again, only experienced mediators have to deal with such things. You won't be going to any unvisited worlds. At least, definitely not yet. Oh. Another question. Why revisit worlds that have already been helped? I mean, once order is in place, everything should be fine, right? Cyrus frowns, but his face seems more complicated than that. It does. It's just been the same face for the last, 45 scenes. I say that because his frown isn't alone. In his eyes there is a glint of irritation directed at no one in particular. You! As any glint, it's gone in a second, replaced by another thing that I can't quite decipher. He's looking the other way now. Part of me is curious as to what that is, but part of me doesn't care. Here's the short answer. Because chaos cannot be contained or removed. Although it can be lessened by us, it will rise again over time. Sir, are you saying that there's no point to anything? No. Chaos is not inherently bad, Winter. It is the means by which all worlds are born and continue, even ours. Furthermore, it's the spark of evolution. It plays a key part in those mutations which allow life to grow and improve itself. However, for life to succeed, there must also be order. It's like how cells must work together and the organs must serve their purpose. You see, a system where chaos is stronger than order is likely to collapse, just as an organism which has succumbed to disease is likely to die. In short, we're not here to eradicate chaos, Winter. We're only here to keep it in check. Oh, okay, so these are like universe, world, peacekeeper things. Oh. Anyway, where do you think we should go next? Well, someplace with a lot of information, I suppose. Allow me to get to thinking about such places. Such a place. Oh, surprise me! Oh, surprise, I'm done. The answer's so obvious. It's insulting. After all, I had already gone there during my first mediation. The library. No. That's not... Why do we go to the library? I mean, I get your line of thought. Libraries can tell you a lot about the world's history, and I would bet there are computers there too, considering the world we're in. Unfortunately, the kind of knowledge probably wouldn't be so helpful for this job. What? What about scholarly journals? Reliable sources? No, I think we should find a bar. Look at that smile. That's a jolly smile right there. Huh? Why are you taking her to a bar? She's like 12. What is it? Well, I just had a thought. Are bars here special, like library bars? I figured maybe you like a drink as you read, maybe. Winter, stop thinking about libraries. Sorry. Bars here should be normal, as far as I'm aware. We'll head there because bars are where people go to talk. Zerus then turns to walk away, as if the next natural thing to do. Well, it's not. I stand incredulously for a full 3 seconds before realizing that we're supposed to move ahead. Well, here we are walking along. Is this the street? I've seen a few vehicles pass us by, so I guess it is. Or should I say I've heard them, for they have been very loud. They're a pretty sorry excuse for transportation, though. They have these grotesque metal protrusions out of their fronts, which billow dark smoke and occasionally drip liquid. As if it weren't bad enough for most every frame of these things have looked like a bludgeon team went wild on it. They're such bewildering things. Bewildering? What? That they distract me from the matter at hand. Cyrus, is he going to elaborate at all? He just walked off after telling me that people talk at bars. Thanks, Cyrus. I would not have guessed that people talk at such places. Isn't he supposed to be teaching me? How can I learn anything with such vague statements? Well, Winter. Well, you need to go to the ice cream parlor. Winter, because they sell food, Winter. Well. Goodness, how annoying. And hasn't he been annoying since orientation? Pestering me and staring at me. An annoying, unlikable person, this Cirrus with a reputation that I hear. I mean, seriously, don't people talk everywhere? Yeah, he does seem a bit dodgy. Sir, don't people talk everywhere? Isn't that sort of thing humans are known for in general? Just why? Okay. Well, aren't you Snippy? Snippy? Oh crap, I just ruined everything, didn't I? I need to stop thinking so much, or I'll let my thoughts slip out. I shouldn't have said it like that. He's my superior. Snoot. I bet he's lowered my grade now. Sorry, sir. I didn't mean to be. It's just a bit frustrating when you don't explain yourself properly. Oh, I thought it was mostly self-explanatory. Not really at all, sir. Well, maybe it is, but I don't really know anything about bars. I've never seen the outside of one. Oh, that's right. We're really not into drinking back home, are we? I don't know if I would say that. Perhaps not everyone is the same. Well, bars are generally a place where people go to unwind. And the alcohol loosens their lips, so to speak. They'll talk about almost anything. Themselves, their troubles. And often, the root of the problem will involve what's troubling the world's people. It's a useful place to visit. Speaking of problems, what was the issue with the last world you visited? Pollution. The world was kind of oddish and oldish and less practical than ours. They kept throwing out their stuff wrong and had bad ways of making energy. Their water ended up being poisoned and a lot of them were sick. Long-term project, I assume. Yeah, my mentor had already been working on it a while before I came. I think it was around 5 months. That's so. Glad I assigned a short-term project. It'd be something awful to get stuck with the same problem for nearly a year. What? I agree, but I don't know about the way you said that. How long did you shadow her? 3 days? I see. What the hell? You've never had alcohol, have you? Oh my god! What? No, sir, I would never. I mean, I'm too young. Yes, you are. I stop in my tracks. He stops and turns. His lips then curled up in a kind of oh-ho expression. Oh-hoing at my innocence ripe to defile. Yeah, that's... that's an oh-ho face. Yes, get away. It's creepy, and I'm uncomfortable. No, you wouldn't do anything against the rules, would you? Oh my god, this guy's just a freak. Is that a test? A trick? A challenge? No sir, I would not. Yeah, he wants to do something to you. His smile broadened at this, and my discomfort increased. You know, Winter, each world you visit has its own laws, its own customs, and its own social graces. You're going to have to learn to make your mind a little more flexible if you want to succeed. I'm going to give you a drink. I'm going to have you drink some alcohol at the bar. Excuse me? I don't want to. Besides, I'm underage. It's against the law. Well, Winter, in many cultures you would be expected to drink, even at your current age. You should be ready for that, and you should know the effects of alcohol has on yourself and on others. What? He's telling me to break the law? Whoa, no, I'm completely out of my comfort zone now. I probably hate alcohol even, right? don't not want this. I mean, I know we're in another world, so it's not really the law, but no, this is my conviction. I was born and raised to a set of rules, and I think it would be best if I lived by them. It is like what I learned in class. Skippy. One might think it's best to try absorbing all aspects of culture met. However, it is not advisable. In absorbing a culture, you run the risk of becoming absorbed by the culture as well. Mediators should not forget who they are. I am Winter Harrison. What a name. And I will not be shaken by this. I don't think I can do that, sir. Winter. That's an order. It's part of your training. If you do not drink alcohol at the bar, I will be forced to fail you. Jesus Christ. What? That isn't... That's not allowed. You can't make me do anything. I most certainly can. I'm your mentor. Look at his sad face. Almost deadpan. Only for today, and you weren't allowed, you weren't always going to be that. Or, can't read for shit. Besides, you can't threaten me because I have my convictions and I won't forget who I am. I'm right. I can tell I'm right because my cheeks are flushed, my heart is pounding, and he looks wounded. I don't think he looks wounded. I hurt him. I struck out against him, and he knows he's wrong. It isn't enough just hurting inside, though. I need to teach him a lesson. I need to knock it into him. Therefore, I will raise this trembling arm and trembling fist. I will raise it, grit my teeth, and I'll punch him right in the pathetic-looking chest. Ha! Winter, what is this? I'm rebelling against you. Did you just punch me? I nod my head quickly and with purpose. You did. Well, what does it look like? My fist smashed into your ribs, didn't it? Well, smashed is... All of a sudden, my head goes puff, as if something heavy has lightly fallen on it. I glanced up to find Cyrus, resting his hand on my head. All I know is what he's doing. In fact, I just said so. I am compelled... All I know what he is doing. In fact, I just said so. I'm compelled to ask. That's a very complicated sentence. What are you doing? Winter, fine. I won't force you to drink. You mean you can't? I mean I won't. I will, however, put forth a stern suggestion. It would be very wise for you to drink. It would help you ease into the tastes of another place. I know what they've taught you, and I'd be lying if I said ignore what... And I'd be lying if I said I ignore what I've learned. Just remember, the way is worded. You're allowed to let yourself go a little. Just don't forget. I haven't forgotten, and neither have you, it seems. But you shouldn't be afraid of stepping outside yourself, if only for a little while. In a sense, that's what you're doing already by being here. So I urge you, Winter, have a pint. A pint? Just a little bit? Okay. Wow. That's just a severely swayed person. This person, your convictions suck, you know that. Good enough. Well, there's a bar. Come on, Winter. That's a bar? What makes it different to any other stores? It looks just the same from the outside. They don't seem to pride themselves on distinction out here. I run my hand through my hair and grimace. I wonder if, since all the storefronts look like this, maybe they're all bars. What a terrible thought. What if this culture loves to drink? Will I be expected to drink a lot? I hope not. Wearily, I begin to follow Silvers. What am I doing? This is so illegal. I wonder if I can report this. Yeah. Whoa. That's a nice bar. Look at that place. Okay, brace for it. No amount of alcohol-tinged breath could be enough to prepare me for the bar smell, surely. The dude over there is cool. Mother always talks about how awful bars are and how that's why she only drinks at home. Okay. Sweaty and piggish and smelling like failure. This can only lead to misery. Slowly, I part the fingers over my nostrils. It doesn't smell at all. No, it doesn't. What the hell are you talking about? Cut that out, Winter. You look ridiculous. Hey, leave me alone. I've been misled. Slowly, I put my hand down, but not without glaring at Cyrus. He ignores this, of course, and walks over to the empty table to have a seat. Then he pats the top of the chair next to him, inviting me. That is even more creepy as before. You should be very wary. Whatever. I follow his lead, still cautious of this place. Are you guys sitting? Because where's the table? Notice how there's only a few people here, although it's lunch hour. What do you imagine that means? Most people here really like to work? Or maybe they really have to. Well, it's probably a good thing that this place is so empty. Too many customers might have been a bit overwhelming for you. Can also make it rather difficult to actually find anything out. I see. There are only 4 other people in the bar besides us, all of whom are men, and all thrice my age by the look of it. Yeah, well, look ridiculously young. What are you, 10? The 2 who seem to be customers are dressed in rather rough manner, like they walked out of a construction site. I'm not the type to pride myself on appearance or anything, but I actually feel slightly embarrassed for them. They aren't the first in the world to look so deplorable, though, in fact, I would say they look fairly good in comparison. Most people I've seen look like they picked their outfits from piles of rags. Jesus. Thankfully, the other 2, both in uniform, are very presentable. The waiter, or he's probably the waiter, looks rather spiffy. A man behind the counter is quite cleanly dressed. So this world is not entirely hopeless. But enough about men and clothes. The wall behind the counter is far more interesting. There are 2 lengthy rows of wildly varying bottles, some round, some square, some outright peculiar, admittedly. I'm enticed. Only for a second, I assure you, after all. I have been told that alcohol tastes like piss. Well, I wouldn't know myself. I've never tried it. What? You've never tried alcohol? No, piss. Isn't it the best until you get used to it? Oh, it isn't the best. That aside, I've also been told that it makes you act like a twit, cause bouts of forgetfulness, and slowly poisons your liver. Oh, sorry, wrong voice. Sorry. That is true. To a point. Eventually, you become addicted to it. Not everyone does, but there's a possibility. Then why drink it? Some people enjoy losing control over themselves, and many love to forget. You'll see for yourself, and be able to form your own opinion about it. I'd rather not. Snort. I can only just think of that as a snort. Honestly, I am more then fine with following the popular opinion. It is often correct, and saved me a lot of trouble in the past. While my thoughts wander to safer days, the man who I believe was the waiter comes to our table. What can I get you? 2 beers, any brand you like. Coming right up. When he departs, I find myself curious about 2 things. Firstly, I have to drink 2 beers? No, one's for me. Why would you want to drink one? I'm one of the people who enjoy losing a bit of control of themselves. I bet you do. I would have not pegged him the sort. At any rate, the second thing. What's the brand, sir? Does it have something to do with fire and iron? What? Well, we used to brand cattle and other animal with a symbol that would associate them with their farmer, right? That is, if I remember my history. That was with fire and iron. So this is something similar? I'm not saying something stupid, am I? I think you are. Is it how the alcohol is made, perhaps? Are the ingredients burned in some way before they're officially beer? Maybe with some sort of spiritual symbol? Do they call them spirits? They do call them spirits after all. There must be a reason for that, right? Sad face. Why isn't he saying anything? Or is it something to do with real spirits? Like some sort of rite each batch is brewed in honor of someone who died. This is awesome. I mean, I read these places can be very strange, and am I close? Oh, please let me be close. No. No, you're not close. Not even by a long shot. Crap. I should have shut up earlier. Why'd I ramble like that? Now I look like a fool. Honestly though, I'm a little disappointed. Some fantasy would be nice. Winter, I'm starting to think you've gotten yourself drunk off the atmosphere. Snort. Oh, please. Here you go. The waiters return bearing 2 tall and thick tankards foaming at the brim. I wonder what sport's going on. Beer. Right. I know more of vodka and wines. Whoa. Dank. One is placed in front of Cyrus, the other in front of me. Enjoy. He leaves. I pick up my cups. I peek over my cup's lip and peer into its mouth. The beverage does not take kindly to my curiosity, bubbling and spitting at me. Ugh. I withdraw with a start. How intimidating. Sir, don't be such a baby. It won't kill you. There'll be much more things you'll have to swallow than alcohol. Trust me. Whoa. Whoa. Just pours it right there. What are you fucking intending? It sounds as though Cyrus is perfectly fine with bending over. Should the situation want... Jesus Christ. Okay. Ingesting things like this, ingesting things worse than this, allow me to apologize, Cyrus, but I'm not a wimp. I know where to draw the line. It is quite the opposite of weakness, really. It's strength. No one is going to be forcing me to do anything I don't agree with. That said, I did say I'd drink some of this. Lifting the glass with both hands, I gingerly tipped it towards my lips and take a mouthful. Ah! Oh heavens, I don't want to drink this. The swish of the liquid a bit, and it mixes with my saliva and seems fairly viscous, whatever that is, even. I want a wretch. This is simply the worst thing I have ever put in my mouth. That's what she said. Atrocious. It bullies the back of my throat with a sizzling, no, a burning sensation that has spread through my entire oral cavity. That's what she said. The ordeal lasts less than 10 seconds before I stop thinking and just swallow it. That's what she said. Oh my god. Blech. Come on. Goosebumps ripple across my skin and my eyes water. The beer drains down my esophagus, raising everything in its descent. That is disgusting. Cyrus proceeds to drain half his glass with a speedy, reviling my mother's and an expression just as insensible. It amazes me that he can just stomach it, and even more that he's willing to subject himself to it. Oh, it's pretty okay, actually. Best I've had in a while. You're joking. That's worse than I imagined piss to taste like. And the sensation, everything about it, it's disgusting. Honestly, I find myself at a loss for words here. This beverage is just nasty. Finish the glass. We'll move along. I'm not finishing this. Do it. What are you going to do? Do it? I mock him. Don't take that turn. Just finish your glass. Finish my glass. I let my hands drop with gravity, my cup crashing to the table. This is what you want me to finish? Then, Cyrus, who I'm quickly losing respect for, I will drink this mug, and in fact finish it, if you do one thing for me in the future. Pardon? It isn't loud in here, Cyrus. I know you heard me. Well then, what do you want me to do? Sad panda. Nothing. The future is not now. Now is the present. The future is later. I will tell you then. You're sure you're not drunk, Winter? Hush. Fine. You'll have your way if you'll have mine. Winter Harrison. Jesus, that's... The sexual tension between these two is ridiculous. It is a deal you cannot break, sir. Gulp. With that, I drain my glass in a matter of seconds using a technique I have observed over the years. When I set it down, there is naught but suds. Cyrus is impressed. He doesn't look impressed, he looks like sad. I am appalled. Ugh, this is so nasty. I squeeze my eyes shut and let the wave of warm, trembling feelings wash over me. Mercy, Winter. That was something else. Ugh. How are you feeling? I answer him with a stare and a shiver. Really? I shake my head. Honestly, now that wretched experience of an instant is over, I realize I was overreacting. While certainly vile, it doesn't seem to be immediately damaging. It looks like it would take more than one beer to impair my judgment. Either that or the stuff's effects are simply delayed. I'm fine, I think. Oh, you should be. Yes, I don't really. I realized I may have spoken too soon, as I suddenly feel a bit as though I'm glowing. That's not a terrible feeling. I seem as to still be myself. All is in order. I don't feel much different at all, actually. Give it some time. You didn't really need to drink so much anyway. There isn't usually a whole lot of alcohol in beer. Snort. Wonderful. Both my theories are true. Okay, well, what now? Now we begin conversing. Cyrus discreetly points to a man in the corner. I'm going to talk to that man. You take the one at the counter. Oh, crap. I didn't... Fuck. Anyway. Oh, and of course, don't forget to keep where we're from. And where here is... What? Oh, okay. Oh, and don't forget to keep... Don't forget to keep... God damn it, this fucking sentence. Whatever. Keep it a secret. That kind of bartering chip shouldn't be allowed to you kids. I'm going to talk to him alone? Yes, well, it would make him pretty uncomfortable to have both of us gang up on him. Oh, I don't know about this. Don't worry. The bartender's right there, and I'm not far either. Nothing will happen to you. It's not that. I'm just not very good at talking to people. You're doing fine with me. You're my superior. Just go over there and give it a try. Snort. Fine, fine. I get out of my seat and immediately yank the table edge as the floor shifts. Oh, no! My knees quiver with fear and I firmly plant my feet. My heart's thumping like I'm about to die. Gracious, what was that? Did something happen? Have we failed? Calm down. You're just a bit tipsy. Shut up. No, I'm not. I pause. Tipsy. Oh, buzzed, right. I'm just... oh, crap. Just get over there. I surprise myself, briskly taking strides to the counter. I find the act curiously challenging and amusing. Each step I consider rather silly in its shakiness, and I begin to wonder how people learn to walk at all. It's not how my thoughts usually go, I think. I can't remember what I usually think about right now. I'm not drunk. I have an idea what that is from looking, and this is not it. Alright, I am tipsy. Goodness, I'm unbalanced. I start slowing near the stools and suddenly break out in a cold sweat. I'm not good with people, so what am I doing about to talk to a man? While I am considering this, the order to stop does not proceed physically. I sit right down next to the gentleman as if it was the most natural thing in the world. And we are the oldest of pals, strong ties, bonds formed from years of manual labor at the piers. I wonder how much alcohol I actually drank. Enough of this. Engage the man by his eyes. Yeesh. Like that. Look like in the books. I lean forward to get a closer look. Lean forward and get a closer look, went to Harrison. Oh, well, isn't he scruffy? Almost in an adorable way. His cheeks and chin are dashed over with stubble, and his eyes are soft and caring. He vaguely reminds me of a father I knew that was not mine, but a classmate's. I open my mouth and immediately and mentally say hello, but the order is, again, not actually processed, so I just hang my jaw and stare. He notices. Hello there, miss. Hello, is all I can do and say. I fail to keep his attention and his eyes return to the television above the bar. Television, that's right, they have that here. It seems to be a sports channel that he's watching, not that I know which. I only know it is a sport, as there is a ball, there are people, and both are on the field. It seems to involve only sculpted men. A particularly intimate sport. Wait, I'm overthinking. Though I do believe that most sports have peculiarly and exciting kind of subtext, this one I think I could particularly like to watch. Man, you're a little young here, aren't you? Yes, I am. I'm 14. I should not be... Oh, okay, so you're like 4 years older than I thought. I should not be in here. I'm here with my uncle. My uncle. My dad would never bring me here. My my uncle. My uncle is here, and he bought me while he's on break. Right, mention work. Where is he? I point to Cyrus, who is now talking amiably to the other man in the corner. Goodness, such fast friends. He is a younger, ordinary-looking person. The old man chuckles, and I smile, and a smile as though I made a joke. Interesting word choice, girl. I read books. That's so. Yes, it is so. So much so, I read a lot. Is he celebrating the good news? Maybe. Was there some news? Do you mean the minimum wage increase, sir? Yeah, great news, isn't it? He grins. I mirror him. It is, I'm glad. You working yet? Yes, this it is work that I'm doing. Granted unpaid. I am learning. Yeah, I just started a little while ago. I see. Well, welcome to the workforce, young miss. Have you gotten your first paycheck yet? No, not yet, and my name is Winter. That should have been 2 sentences. Nice to meet you, Winter. I'm David. I stopped speaking. I don't know why. It's almost as though anything I say won't make any sense, so I've shut up. He does not speak either. The quietness is getting to me. Isn't there something I can say? Anything? What can I say? No, I'm lost. This is a terrible feeling. Like I'm drowning in air. Think. There must be something. What? You are okay? Huh? No, I'm panicking. You could tell. That's bad. This is all because of the alcohol. It must be the alcohol. Speak! So what do you do? Well, like, for work, I mean. Help out the wharf. Head down to the mines. For auto parts. That's amazing. Amazing, no. When you get older, you'll have to run multiple jobs, too. Just about only way to survive these days. How about you? What do you do? Oh, crap. What do I do? I didn't think about something first. Stupid. I shut my eyes for a second and give a quick shake of my head. What to do? Well, I guess I could technically be considered I'm a consoler. A counselor? Yeah. Please let that be an acceptable job. Doesn't really seem to be something that suits you. No offense or anything. I really didn't choose it. He gives me a somber nod of recognition. Yeah, you gotta take what you're given these days. Snort. Yes. I suddenly feel miserable and decide to lean on the counter. I rest my head, letting the fluff of my hair and the sleeve serve as a pillow, and look away from David. That's right. I really didn't choose it. I really didn't choose anything. As decisions came around, I just sat on my hands thinking. I don't know, thinking that something would just come to me. In a sense, I suppose that something did. But it wasn't the usual way. Everyone else knew what they wanted to do after secondary school, and I was just stuck on the path of a freeter. What the hell's that? A freeter. Oh. A step away from a leech. Ugh. I couldn't pick a specialty school. I didn't know what I wanted. School Mediotorium, huh? What is the school? Why had I never heard of it? Yet somehow my parents were surprised by the name. Why was I chosen? What's more, how? I never applied to this thing. Why did I even accept to go? I guess I was just happy that something had found me. And that the system always knows best. I mean, it's not as though I dislike it. I find the classwork and homework more than bearable, and my first shadowing went okay enough. But is this what I am? Is this what I'm meant to do? This is stupid. What am I thinking? The oligarchy is infallible and never makes sense. They never make sense. Therefore, this must be what's right for me. Even if everything about it is totally weird. Cackle. What's my issue? This is better. I'm assuming that's like shit. This is better than what would have happened when I start caring about so much about what? When did I start caring so much about my direction? Wait, what am I thinking? I'm supposed to care about that. Still, why should I? Why should I know the way to forge my life's path when I'm just 14? I didn't even know what I'd be doing in like 8 years. I shouldn't have to care about this now. No, this is really messed up. I'm so messed up. Hey. Don't get like that. I'm sorry I brought it up. Can I get you something to drink? I turn back and glance at David, my nose tip brushing against my cloth and sending a tingle across my face. Seeing him, I remember again I'm in another world. As if I didn't have enough worries back home, now I have a whole new world to worry about here. Another world which I had never heard of, and I'm supposed to believe is real, just because things are here right in front of my eyes. So much strange stuff has happened to me that maybe I could just be dreaming. Is this man even real? Is he really here? Maybe he isn't. I've read that there are illusions. So would I prefer a illusion? Would I prefer this to be a dream? Maybe some sort of virtual reality? This whole idea is ridiculous. What's worst of all, I find myself rather on the fence about his offer for a second drink. It would not be bad, actually, to forget who I am for a little while. Perhaps longer. It would be natural. No, it would be dangerous. I force the darker notions aside. Steady the course. I draw my head back to the nest of my arms, hair curling over fingers. And I bring myself up, continent solemn. No, I think I've had enough. Suit yourself. I will. I look at David. Alright, what's next? Need to figure out the root of the problem. It usually has something to do with the troubles of people, right? I'll just forward it then. Has anything been troubling you lately? Nothing more than usual. I suppose I'm just here to commemorate the occasion. That wage hike takes a major load off. Though it's really bad. It's really too bad that we're still under Gabria's boot. You know, I bet they let that bill pass just to avoid revolt. They don't give a shit about us. Gabriel. That's not this country, is it? Wasn't that... the mother country, correct. I think Brighton shouldn't be a colony of theirs anymore. It was labelled as an independent in the dossier. I need to know more. How might I ask this properly? What about a president? He seems to be working for us. He does, right? You know it doesn't matter. He's just a figurehead. He can't do anything without Gabriel's approval. Couldn't even raise a military to defend us against Feridia without making them kick up a fuss. Hell, it took 6 months before they let him train a single soldier. I'll give him some credit though. They quit crying about it and they've been funding us rightly ever since. Probably realized that if Feredia took us over, they'll lose their workforce. Feredia is a third country sharing the border with Brighton. What was it I read about them last night? Don't we have a truce with them or something? It has been around for a while. Yeah, but it's hardly there. Feredia have never been too afraid to stir up war over some real estate or over some insult to their forefathers, whatever excuse. Our truce with them is just a piece of paper. If they wanted to, they'd take us down in a heartbeat. Or they would have at least, until we got an army to secure the border. Never know, though. Wow, this guy talks a lot. It's wonderful. I hardly have to say a word. Or at least, I would if he didn't seem to want me to respond now. I put a bit of an angry expression on for a second, but then reconsidered. Maybe a sad expression would be better. What's my character again? Am I being myself here? Wait, no, none of that matters. Just answer. That's terrible. Okay, I need another question. Maybe I should let some of my ignorance show. Why is it like this anyway? You don't know? Hell, I'm not surprised. They practically skip over that in school. Give it a paragraph, maybe. Sure, they'll tell you Brighton used to be a Gabrian colony, that we gained our independence 120 years ago. They just never mention the cost of that freedom. Economic sanctions. Crazy ones. I mean, they weren't always crazy. Back then, minimum wage could feed you and more. The sanctions haven't changed, though. Haven't adjusted with the dollar's value and the cost of living. We screwed up. We lulled into this false sense of liberty, got so caught up with things we could do, we forgot that what we can't. Thanks to inflation, these sanctions are making us so poor they're killing us. I mean literally killing us. Not a great thing to bring up when something's to celebrate though, but I don't even think they're tracking just how many have died trying to live. I know I've definitely lost count. Then, is this the route? I mean, it sure does suck that people are really poor, really. Though honestly, if they've been this way for so long, they should be used to it. What is poor exactly? The television was harping about it earlier, and David was harping about it just now, so I figured it might be important, but, you know, it's nonsense, or even to even consider this seriously. I don't understand any of this. The obsession over the economy, the excitement over higher wages, none of that makes sense. Poor is not having enough for a snack. Money is a trivial thing. Another thing is that this is not even a major society of the world. That being the case, how come we're dealing with this at all? That's Cyrus. Cyrus, what is he thinking dragging me here? He probably only wanted a drink. What can I learn about the whole thing from just one person? Not much. Ugh, this is stupid. Stupid! There must be something else. If it's so terrible here, I wonder how it is in Gabria. Complete luxury. They live like kings. They even their bums live better than here. Oh, that's a filthy thing to say. It's a damn miracle any of them work at all, with how much they go for free. They get fired, the states take care of it, they're hurt, the state covers it, no job to start with, the state will go to the goddamn moon for their precious Gabrians. Can you believe it? People are starving here, and that's the kind of fucking bullshit that I wince and raise my shoulders a little. Sorry. It's okay. I don't really take any offense to swear words or rude language. My dad was never really terribly fond of them, and I've grown unused to their bite. The harsher ones, anyway. It's a bit shocking to hear one at all. To hear one in that tone. I decided to look back at the television, feeling embarrassed on David's behalf for reasons beyond my immediate comprehension. It airs the same sports on all four. It airs the same sport for all of the 4 seconds before cutting out. When the picture returns, a twisty, intricate crest, a duck flying over a sword and a pickaxe, a duck flying over the sword and pickaxe, appears on the screen, set against the noble blue. Could this be the team logo? An address to the audience from the coach and captain. Oh, I want to see. I lean back a few feet from the counter until I'm supporting myself, only slightly with my fingers, and mostly on the stool's 2 hind legs. Honestly, the warmth of the beer has not completely dissipated. David, what is that? Holy... George, turn it up! The person who is wiping the glass behind the counter raises his eyebrows slightly, and then reaches listlessly for the remote. When it's in his hands, he turns and gives the television a tired glance. The crest on the screen wakes his eyes immediately, and he's soon mashing up the volume. I hear David shifting at my right. It sounds as though he's turning in the direction of Cyrus and the other man. Clark, get over here! Oh, so that's the guy's first name. Clark. Clark and Cyrus look at David strangely, and then strangely look at one another, and then they begin rushing over. I find their antics confusing and unwarranted. What's the big deal over this? In a few moments, the whole gaggle of men surrounding the television, even the waiter has stopped clearing tables to watch. I know that sports are popular, but this isn't much, isn't it? This is an emergency broadcast. This is not a test. Please pay close attention to the following message. This is an emergency broadcast. This is not a test. Please pay close attention to the following message. Oh. This message will begin in 40 seconds. This is an emergency broadcast. This is not a test. Please pay close attention to the following message. The message will begin in 30 seconds. Goodness, this is isn't it? The thing, the problem? Oh, no, I'm not ready for this. Cleaning up garbage is one thing, but this is completely another thing. I don't even know what exactly. I search Cyrus' eyes for something to comfort my spirits, but I find nothing. I don't know why I bothered at all. His face is indiscernible as ever, aside from his serious brow and lip, of course. This message will begin in 10 seconds. Crap. The message will now play. The crest vanishes, revealing a man in a suit at a desk. A dapper brown suit and a large brown desk. I imagine he must be important, as the crest from before is quite brazenly carved into the wood of his furniture. As for the man himself, he looks older than Cyrus, which is ancient at worst, and age 60 at least. He looks very tired. His face is worn, and his expression does nothing for the mood. He does have some fake-looking hair, though. That was pretty funny. I almost have to chuckle, but given the severe expression of my company, I decided it would best just to stifle it. Brighton, we have endured. As a people, as a country, as a workforce, we have endured these past 120 years. Surely, you all are very tired, very, very tired. I, my people, my friends, am very, very tired. The words sobering meant little to me before this, but I completely understood at this moment. The way this man carries himself, his speech, and his dour voice have all combined to chill the warmth of my head. I will set my stool back down and have an actual seat. Looking up at the monitor with certain intensity, the man has me engaged. I am tired of the media portraying our common men the fool, an ignorant sort of all glad to do the deeds of his betters. Tired of these foreign companies providing us work and wages that we celebrate only pennies for. Tired of hearing my people say in passing and in normalcy, "No, I don't know if we can eat today, perhaps tomorrow." Brighton, I am tired of our masters. I am so tired. People of Brighton, we have grown so used to freedom we have forgotten that we are not free. This chair, this desk, this stage of an office on which I play my part is evidence of that. Huh? I offer a serious and composed look to Cyrus. If I'm understanding correctly, and I can't say that I'm one for understanding much of anything in this world, it seems like this leader here is not much of a leader as he might like. Which frankly, I don't quite get. The way the leadership works back home, at least on the large scale, is that several especially intelligent, reasonable people rule over all of us. The idea of power being not enough, or being feigned, seems complicated to me. Like, what's the point? Why the show? I'd like to ask Cyrus about this, but he isn't returning my gaze, and instead remains focused on the television. I suppose I have to keep listening. But I am not here to tell you the troubles of our state. I am not here to tell you the glory of our fathers. I am not here to confirm the quiet whispers through the alleys and the worried murmurs of the Gabrian elite. Pardon? Consider this a threat. People of Gabria, you have 4 hours to comply with my demands, or a nuclear weapon will be launched at your country. Jesus, that can't be good. Winter, come over here for a minute. I rise and step to my mentor, feeling surprisingly clear-headed and befuddled at all this. He takes me from the counter, leaving the 3 gentlemen to discuss whatever it is exactly that the man on television just brought up. A nuclear weapon? What the hell is that? What does Barnaby think he's doing? I can't believe he really did that. What kind of place does he think this is? Sir, could you please break down what just happened? I'm kind of lost here. Winter. I know that we only just arrived, but did you look at the files you were given at all? I did. Have you been paying any attention to anything out here? I have. You have? You have? Then explain who that man is. Explain anything. Don't put me on the spot like that. The leader of Brighton, sir, President Barnaby, he's angry about Gabria. I'm not an idiot. Gracious, why can't I articulate to explain it any better? I just wanted to clarify some things before because I'm shadowing you. Sorry, I reacted out of impulse. I forget how unprepared life in our world can leave us for these things. His tone shook me up quite a bit. I'm shivering a little. I was going to lie and say I understand, but I'm having a lot of trouble speaking right now. I want to go home. Winter, you may not realize the severity of the situation. This isn't going to be community service like your first assignment. I know that. Hey, eyes straight, Harrison. Allow me to be frank. Brace yourself, because there may be a lot of dying happening soon. Dying? But I'm shocked, honestly. I think these rumors I heard from Clark were only that. Hold it. Death? I just thought, as far as we knew, this world hadn't even developed nuclear weapons yet. What did I think? You said weapon. Am I daft? Although with their studies at utilizing nuclear fusion for electricity, I suppose it was only a matter of time. But people are going to die? It's people dying. Just slow down for a second. I suppose that's what comes with our job. Not everything can be in the dossiers, right? We smooth out the creases and bring chaos to order. Slow down, calm down, calm down, calm down. Though sudden wars really are rare. War? My mind starts tumbling. My heart starts to explode from my chest. I definitely can't handle this. War isn't something I'm supposed to take care of. Shut up. Don't excite the locals. I cover my mouth and raise my shoulders. Of course we're looking at war. You can't believe people dying. It's just a commonality. Do you even think properly? I'm finding it incredibly hard to do anything properly right now. Shaking, I turn to see the people at the counter. They're thankfully still engrossed in the president's speech. I look back at Cyrus and speak softly through my fingers. Shouldn't I go home? Yeah. Oh. This was supposed to be something like diplomacy. Goes to show you how important it is to get here, to get a look at the situation yourself. Anyway, if what I heard is right, we don't have the time to get you out of here without causing a scene. As you should know, interplanetary shifts take longer to prepare than just moving from place to place. But I'll protect you no matter what happens, Winter. And you know how to escape if you really must. Yes? I don't know if I want to do that anymore, though. If he's talking about maybe dying. Of course, we don't have a lot of time in general. His demands, I couldn't care less about them, but this deadline. 4 hours. Consider this powerful lesson and come with me. We proceed to exit the bar without saying goodbye. It seems like it's time to get to work. It is too bad that I'm terrified. Alright guys, I'm going to end it off here. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you join for the next one. Yeah, actually, this is quite an interesting story. So, yeah. Just, and, overwrite. I haven't even did it. Cool. Thanks and bye.